So, you're a Toyota owner and that dreaded check engine light pops on. You're probably wondering what's going on. Well, if you see the code P0500, you've come to the right place. It's a super common one, and in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what it means and, more importantly, how you can fix it. You grab your scanner, you plug it in, and up pops P0500. Okay, what is your car actually trying to tell you with that code? Let's decode that message together.
So what this really means, in simple terms, is that there's a communication breakdown. The sensor that's supposed to be measuring your car's speed isn't sending a clear, steady signal to the car's brain, which is called the Powertrain Control Module, or PCM for short.
And you gotta understand, this speed signal is for way more than just making the needle on your speedometer move. It's a critical piece of the puzzle that the car's brain uses for everything. Managing engine performance, telling the transmission when to shift, and even running safety systems like your ABS brakes. Okay, so besides that annoying light on your dash, what are you actually going to feel when you're driving? What are the telltale signs of a P0500 code? Let's dive into the common symptoms. Well, the biggest, most in-your-face symptom is a speedometer that's just dead, stuck at zero. But it gets trickier. You might see your dashboard light up like a Christmas tree. ABS light, traction control light, or you might go to set your cruise control and nothing, it just won't turn on. And this is a big one. It's why so many people complain about transmission problems. I mean, think about it. Without knowing how fast you're going, your transmission is basically flying blind. It doesn't know when to shift. This leads to really harsh, clunky gear changes. Or sometimes it'll just throw in the towel and go into limp mode, getting stuck in one gear to protect itself. All right, we know what the problem looks and feels like. Now, let's put on our detective hats and figure out who the usual suspects are. What's actually causing this mess? 9 times out of 10, the culprit is hiding in one of these 5 spots. It could be the vehicle speed sensor itself just gave up the ghost, but honestly, more often than not, it's something simpler, like bad wiring or a corroded plug. Then you've got mechanical stuff, like the gear the sensor reads from, or even a faulty ABS module. And in super rare cases, yeah, it could be the main computer. But let's not jump to that conclusion just yet. So the big question is, how do you find the real problem without just randomly throwing expensive parts at your car? Well, you follow a smart, step-by-step diagnostic plan. We're going to go through these 4 steps, and we're going to do them in order. Why? Because this method is all about being efficient. We'll start with the easy stuff, the things you can check without even getting your hands too dirty. Okay, step 1. Your first move always is to scan for codes. But listen up, because here's a pro tip that'll save you a world of headaches. Not all scan tools are created equal. Not by a long shot. See that cheap little code reader you got online? It might just show you that one P0500 code. But a good scanner, one that can dig deeper, is what you really need here. It can talk to the transmission and ABS systems and pull their codes too. And those extra codes, they're like a treasure map, pointing you right to the problem, like saying, hey, the issue is with the sensor on the left rear wheel. All right, once you've got all the code data you can, it's time for step 2, a good old-fashioned visual inspection. Just get under there and use your eyes. Look at the sensor, follow its wiring. Are there any frayed wires? Any nasty green corrosion on the plugs? Is the sensor itself cracked or damaged? You'd be surprised how often the fix is staring you right in the face. So if everything looks okay visually, we move on to step 3, testing the sensor electrically. Now, the best way to do this is with that good scan tool we talked about. You can pull up live data, take the car for a short drive, and literally watch the signal from each wheel speed sensor. You're looking for the one that's flatlining at 0 while the others are reading speed. But hey, if you don't have a fancy scanner, no worries. A simple multimeter works too. You can test the sensor's internal resistance to see if it's within spec. Okay, so the sensor checks out, the wiring looks good. What's left? For our final step, step 4, we gotta check the mechanical parts. See, the sensor gets its reading from a toothed wheel called a reluctor ring. You need to get your eyes on that ring. Are any of the teeth broken or missing? Is it caked in mud or rust? Anything that messes with that ring can mess with the sensor's reading. All right, that was a lot to take in, I know. So let's zoom out for a second and boil it all down to the big picture. The most important things to remember when you see that P0500 code. So here it is, the number one thing to burn into your brain. P0500 points to a system problem, not just a bad part. The answer is almost never to just run out and buy a new speed sensor. The real fix comes from following a logical process. And the most important tool for that process? A quality scan tool that can see beyond just the engine codes and tell you what the transmission and ABS are thinking. It's pretty amazing, right? How can one tiny sensor cause so much chaos? Well, it just goes to show you how incredibly connected everything is in a modern car. That one little signal, how fast a wheel is spinning, is the foundation that the engine, the transmission, and even your safety systems all rely on to work together. And really, understanding that connection is the key to fixing this whole thing.